Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. This one's gonna look a little different because I'm using a different camera, and this one's not nearly as good. But the one I like to use just isn't letting me record for very long. The storage is absolutely messed up, and I'm not really sure why. Anyway, this is going to be a remake of the video of my Line Materials 175 watt mercury vapor Nema head. Now this is actually a span wire Nema head. It doesn't have the option for you to mount it on a pole, and that's really not too common. Although these fixtures were seen quite a bit in Michigan, that's actually where this one came from. But a lot of them have been replaced, so it's pretty hard to find them. And this one has the external insulators, which are very, very difficult to find now. So I'm glad I have this one. I actually have a second, slightly newer version with a slightly shorter head on it. Although that one isn't quite as nice and it doesn't have the correct refractor for it. So right now we're just going to record a video on this one. So this fixture I got off of a Facebook Marketplace find. And it was the two fixtures and this reflector. The other fixture was incomplete, so it was basically just the head plus a refractor that was not made for it. It was a modern plastic lens that was broken. So that's not really worth much, but I got the two heads for like $15, plus the glass lens that originally came with it, which is not installed in it anymore. That glass lens had a few holes in it, because this light has been shot out before. I can see that in the reflector. But I got some new lenses from it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So this fixture just looks like a standard Nema style light, although it's pretty big, a little bigger than some other ones, and it's very heavy. So there's kind of the whole fixture. So now I will kind of show you how to open this up. So take this lens off, you just pull down these tabs on that side, and then there's one on the other side. And that'll let you to pull the top off of your fixture. Now we'll look a little more closely at the lens by itself. So here it is. This is actually quite a thick, heavy reflector on here with these nice tabs. And then this is the glass lens that you can replace. So this is a little bit different than modern lights where the lenses are permanent. But on this one you can actually take it out if you pull this spring off, which is going to be difficult with one hand, but it is possible. So you get that off, and then this whole ring comes off as well, which again I'm not going to be able to do one-handed. So that comes off, and then the reflector. So here's the very heavy and high quality glass lens. Now unfortunately this has some chips in it, but it's a lot better than the one that originally came with this fixture. So again, it's very heavy. It's a Line Materials Type 4 distribution lens. Try to get that picture. There's your lens. And yeah, this is a very, very nice lens. And the reason, well, I got this fixture, or this lens at a Habitat store along with another Type 5 distribution lens. And the reason I'm using this Type 4 distribution instead of the Type 5, like what it's supposed to have, is because this Type 4 is a little bit rarer, and it's just a little more interesting to look at because the Type 5 is like this on all four sides, while this one's got some interesting detail going on. Now if we flip this on like that, you'll see some embossings in it. So it's got an arrow there. You might be able to see it if the camera focuses. And then it's got another arrow there. And those show where the light will be directed. And it's kind of hard to tell how thick that glass is, but it's thick, and this weighs like, this is a good portion of the way that the whole fixture. It's so much better than the glass lenses you get on modern Nema heads. So there's that. Now your reflector here is also very nice quality. It's pretty thick. It's nice and smooth, unlike the newer ones that are ribbed to increase strength. This one doesn't need that. And we got this ring that's separate, and it's got this hook that attaches to. This little spring's got a loop. And this little, here's where it connects up to the head. It's got these very nice, high quality barnyard latches that just super nice. So you just kind of push these up and it clamps it down. And you got these nice, really heavy springs that hold that all together. Now, getting this back together, I'm actually going to do this off camera because it's kind of difficult. There we go, I got it back together. So now, we can go ahead and look at the light, or the head. So here it is. This is the beautiful and high quality Lime Materials head. There it's got the LM logo on it and some nice scuffs. And this logo is very, very well embossed on there. The newer one that I have, the logo is very faint and it's not even centered properly. So that's a really nice light. And up here, you've got the portion where you can attach it to a wire, because again, this would hang in the middle of an intersection. There's two sets. You can put different diameter wires, and basically what you do is you undo these two bolts, or you do all three, and these two halves will come apart. You put your wire in between them, and then clamp them back together to hold that in place, and then you can tighten this, and this will keep this from rocking back and forth, and try to keep your light level. Next, we have this little piece here, and this would have been a chain, but it's broken off, and this chain would connect to one of these loops on the refractor, so that if you were doing maintenance or if the clips failed, the refractor would just hang instead of falling to the ground. So then you could just put it back up, and you wouldn't have to have a replacement piece. This one's broken. I have to get a new chain for this. And another interesting about this is normally when you find these, my Sylvania Nema head and the other newer version of this are both the same way. Usually this little hook here is cast into the side of the housing where your chain connects, but this one is actually where the chain is just screwed into the side of the fixture. So that's definitely interesting. So next here, the two ears that the latches connect to. And now here's one of the coolest parts of this light, these big insulators. You don't really see this too much on lights, but there we go. These are giant green porcelain insulators on these big pieces that are screwed in here, and they got gaskets on them. Here you can kind of see the gasket, with our gasket here, and then here. And then you got this big copper terminal on the outside of the fixture. And then this nice piece of metal here that holds that all together. So this is really easy to wire up. You just put your wires in these two clamps, and it's ready. Now moving to the inside of the fixture. In here we have a ballast that is a replacement ballast, apparently. This would make sense since this lady got shot at. Maybe the original ballast got damaged, so they needed to replace it. But there's the ballast. Actually, we can move this into the sun so we can get a good look at what's going on in here. Next here, on top of the ballast, we have a terminal block mounted, which also maybe hints to this thing being a replacement ballast, because you might not necessarily need a terminal block if your wire is connected to the outside. And I'm actually just noticing that that does have some lettering on it. We're not going to be able to read that, but it says something on it. Anyway, next out here you got your nice high quality porcelain socket, where your logo-based mercury vapor bulb goes. Now if you want to take this ballast out, there's two screws way back there. You can kind of see one there. So they're way at the back. And just take those two out, and your ballast will twist. Assuming you have these two wires taken out, you can pull that whole thing out and either work on it or replace it, but still keep the head installed. Because this would be mounted on wire, you could just kind of hold the fixture up, or put it in your bucket and work on it there. Anyway, you got this kind of shed point on the outside of the head here. This just keeps rain from getting inside, or any rainwater or anything else from getting up in there, and it kind of seals against this piece. It's kind of part of this lip of the refractor. So that's this fixture. It is a very nice fixture. It's pretty heavy, especially for what size it is, and that glass lens really does make it a lot heavier. So yeah, that's the fixture now. I'm gonna put this here, this head back on top of the glass. So here, this just kind of clips on. So it can be difficult to get these to go on. So there we go. Back installed all together now. Next, now let's turn this fixture around, because I've got a wire here. So we're going to wire this up. So the way we're going to do this is, I believe the white wire goes on the right side. So I've got the black wire marked here. So we're going to just insert the wire. It might need to be loosened, but we're going to try inserting that wire. I think that's going to be a little bit too tight, so we're just going to unscrew these. And it'll raise this little piece inside. You see that piece coming up? Oh. That piece, that's got a lot of give in it now. But we should be able to get this in this holder. So that's in. And then you're just going to make sure it's all the way, in, and then tighten these. I'm just hand tightening it now, but we get a screwdriver here. Make sure that's all the way in. And then we'll be able to go ahead and do the other one. Make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't fall out. Now we're gonna, that's good. Now this next one, let's put this wire in here. Push it in as far as it goes. Tighten the wires, the screws here. Now, one thing about this that's not great is, since this terminal's exposed, it's live right there, and you could easily touch it. So you kind of have to be careful with this thing, make sure you don't touch it, and then you'll be okay. So next I have to get a bulb. And the bulb I choose is this, which I also got at a different Habitat Restore. This beautiful Sylvania 175 watt mercury vapor bulb. You'll be able to see the construction in there. You can see that arc tube. And some of the insides there. Look at the size of those electrodes. This is about as good as a Westinghouse lifeguard lamp. real beauty there. Now we're going to put that in here. So now, let's go ahead and try to turn this thing on. So here we go, we're going to test it in 3, 2, 1. Oh yes, that's loud. Doesn't exactly sound great, does it? But yeah, that ballast could really use getting refinished. It's so loud. So, there you go, you can see how that looks. It just gets brighter, so I'm going to turn this off now. Because I don't want to listen to this anymore. It's very, very obnoxious. So anyway, that's my very, very nice, kind of industrial-looking steampunkish with those insulators on it. Line materials, 175 watt, mercury vapor, span wire, Nema head fixture. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, found it interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.